Hey, what is up, you sexy beast? GhostSickness, Tristan here. Now, I really did miss you guys. I am back from South Carolina, and I'm back to do more videos, regular videos, like stories and stuff and whatnot. And if you guys are new to my channel, I usually don't talk about the gameplay, but in this video, I exclusively wanted to mention that I'm doing MW2 gameplay because I felt like it. So, anyway, guys, I really do miss talking to you guys on the mic and whatnot and telling you stories. No, My First series is not dead. I just haven't done one in a while. I just need to have some few ideas, a few good ones for that series. However, I am going to get right into two kind of mini stories that are pretty funny in my opinion. So the first one is I hit a dog with my car. Before you guys are like, kill her, he's a murderer, kill him! You know, stuff like that. People who love dogs and whatnot. And I don't hate dogs. I'm more of a cat person. But, yeah, so I was driving, and this was a few weeks ago. I don't know if you guys want to time punch it on my Twitter. I tweeted about it a little while ago, but follow me on Twitter. It's just a kind of obvious message there. But anyway, I tweeted about it the day it happened, and so I was driving after school because I was like, man, I really want some caffeine today, so I'm going to go to the Human Bean. And so the Human Bean is this little coffee shop that you can go to and kind of drive through to get coffee and stuff like that. And they sell flavored rock stars, and these rock stars, you know, can come in certain flavors and whatnot. And I'm like, you know, that sounds pretty good. Some days after school, I'm just kind of like, yeah, I need some caffeine fix, you know what I mean? And so I go to these places, this place in particular. There are a few other shops like it over here, but I go to one, and on my way there, I have to go through the school zone after middle school, and there's this middle school up on top of this hill that I have to, you know, go through the school zone and whatnot. It's kind of irritating, but I'm like, I'll take this route because this is the closer Human Being, and it's right after school had ended. So middle school, that middle school in particular, ended around the same time that my high school does, and so I'm like, okay, well, I have to deal with kids crossing the street and whatnot. Damn middle schoolers. And so, you know, I go through the whatever. I don't really remember much of this school zone because it's not that unique going through that. And so I go through the school zone, and then I'm about to take a left into this Mexican neighborhood. And now I don't mean to sound like racist or anything, but where I live, there are a lot of Mexicans and a lot of white people. There aren't very many black people, just those two primarily. And so I pull into this neighborhood, and I'm driving down, and across the entire goddamn row, I see like 8 or 9 Mexican chicks from middle school, presumably, because it, you know, just ended, walking kind of, you know, like girls walk in high schools, just side by side, just taking up as much, like the Beatles, you know, taking up as much room as humanly possible across the entire road. And I'm like, bitch, I gotta get through here. And so I'm like, ugh. So I roll up in the club. No, okay, so so I'm driving along, and I'm going slow at this point because I'm like, okay, well, I gotta dodge all these fucking middle schoolers, and I didn't want to honk at them. My music's pretty loud. I mean, you can obviously hear a car going behind you, and I didn't want to honk at it, be like that asshole, right? You know what I mean? Because when honking at people is entirely different than, you know, just kind of slowly creeping up on and be like, hey, so I'm kind of shrugging off to the left because I see an opening kind of start to open up, and I see the girls kind of separating. You know, a few go to my left, but the majority go to my right, and so I'm like, oh god, oh god. You know, I'm probably going 5 to 10 miles an hour. I don't know exactly, but I was going pretty slow enough so I could, you know, kind of watch and make sure I didn't hit any of these middle school girls. And so right after I go past all of them, you know what I thought? I thought I, you know, completely cleared both of them, but I was pretty fucking close. Like, they barely moved, and I'm like, they barely gave me an opening. I'm like, I'm driving a car here. You do not understand. You know, this could kill you. And so they barely kind of move, and I'm swerving, I'm driving to the left. And so I finally get past the girls, and I hear a thud on the front right of my car. I'm like, holy fucking shit, I just hit a middle school girl. I am so fucked. Because I've been driving for a while. I've been driving for over a year now, ever since I was 16, and I'm like, oh god, I just hit a middle school girl. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna get my license taken away. And so I'm like, my face just kind of drops, and my music's still blaring at this point because I have a subwoofer, as you guys have seen in my sit-up video for my car. And so I'm just like, holy fucking shit. Oh no, no, no. And you hear the girls start like streaking in panic. I'm like, what is going on? What's going on? And so what had happened is, you know, I kept driving a little bit slowly, and I was like kind of shocked. I'm like, oh god, did I hit a middle school girl? I'm like looking around for him. I didn't see any like on the ground or anyone really, really close. And then I look in my right. Yes, it would be my right. It was my right kind of rear view mirror, you know, and I saw the dog running that way. It was a little black dog, and apparently right after I crossed these teenage girls, the dog was like Fido is just running across the street there and just happened to hit the front of my car. You know, I mean, I hit him a little bit, but yeah, so I didn't hit him going that fast. I was probably going, you know, like I said, 5 to 10 miles per hour, but he hit the front right of my car, and you could hear it. I don't know if you guys have ever hit something in your car or ever been in a car that's hit something. It's extremely loud. It just kind of like reverberates through the entire car, and that's why I felt like I hit like a teenage girl or something, because I hadn't hit anything in my car at that point. Leading up until that point, apparently. And I was extremely worried, but then I see the dog running, and you know, all the girls are standing up, and so I'm like, oh shit. And so I'm wearing my prescription shades. I've talked about these in my vlog that I did today, actually. I have prescription shades. They're not glasses, they're shades, just for driving exclusively. Anyway, so I stop. I go about 10 more feet and I stop. I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck happened? And so I stop, take off my glasses, roll down the window, and I look out, and they're all, you know, kind of shrieking, oh my god, he hit the dog, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, you know, little teenage girls, and I'm just like, oh my god, what the hell happened? I'm doomed. And so I open my window, and I kind of put my head out and I yell back at her. I'm like, is the dog okay? She's like, yeah, the dog's fine. And they're still, you know, most of the girls are still freaking out, like, oh my god, I can't believe they hit that dog. And so I'm like, okay, put back on my shades, roll up my window, and drive off pretty fucking fast. Because I'm like, okay, the dog's alive, I'm not liable, I didn't hit a teenage girl, like, oh, this is all good, this is all good. And so I started laughing hysterically because I thought it was pretty funny, because I was super worried that I hit one of these girls. And luckily it was just a dog, and the dog is okay, guys. So is my car. I'm glad you asked. So I thought that was pretty funny. Now I'm going to share with you a kind of short, funny story driving. Again, so I was leaving my school, but instead of taking a right to go to the Human Being this time, I took a left to go home. And so I'm kind of waiting to leave, and it's kind of this cramped spot because there are, you know, there's a lane that goes right, obviously, because I live in America, you know, and then there's another lane, but then there's a middle lane for, like, merging and, you know, people pulling in, and if you're going to stop when you're trying to leave and whatnot. I don't know, you guys hopefully know what I'm talking about because you're driving and whatnot. And so I'm waiting there, and this girl freaking pulls in that middle lane to take a turn right where I'm parked. And so it's kind of hard to explain. Hope you guys are understanding this, but she's in front of me, so I can't pull out at this point. And so there's this like young girl, and you know, I'm singing my music to myself in my car. I'm just like, yeah, dubstep and whatnot. And so I'm kind of just sitting back in my car. She's like looking at me all weird because I'm mouthing the lyrics, but I'm not exactly saying anything. And so she kind of gives me this weird look, and she's like nodding and stuff like, yeah, I'm gonna go, don't worry, because there's finally an opening because people had crossed the street. And so I'm like, okay, I'm waiting there. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna go, yeah. I'm mocking her at this point, but she's like, I'm gonna go. I'm like, okay, well then go. And so she finally takes the turn to go, and then the car goes to my right and whatnot. And then I'm like, oh god, it's my turn. And then I see this red Volvo fucking pull up behind her car like, yeah, I'm gonna take this left turn as well. I'm just like, no, you're fucking not. I've been waiting here. And because this is the day, this was Monday, last Monday, that my keyboard arrived, my freaking Corsair K70 that I've been waiting for goddamn so long, because it was sold out when I tried to buy it last month, and so I had to buy it this month, and it finally came, and I was like super pumped. And so I was kind of in a rush to get home. I was a little bit excited, a lot excited, trust me, I was a lot excited. And so I fucking, this car, this red Volvo, is trying to take the same left that girl in the white car did. And I'm like, no, there's an opening for me. There's a keyboard waiting for me at home because I saw it got delivered. And so I freaking just drive out. I'm just like, just peel out because I'm like, and I'm pointing at her. And I'm just like, fuck you. And then I look over to my left where more cars are coming from, because, you know, people stopped walking and it was there, you know, the gap was closing. That's why I wanted to go. I'm like, oh, you're not going to take my spot. You don't get the right of way. This is my right of way this time, even though it's probably not. Who cares, right? Apparently I don't know how to drive because I hit a dog earlier, but not a teenage girl. So I just fucking go. And they give me weird looks. And I'm pointing at them. I'm like, no. And then I point at the car coming, you know, at me, and I'm no, and then I just kind of like drive on through and cut someone off, and then I finally, you know, get going home. And so I get to the end of that road where it's a left-hand light right before another school. I'm just like, oh fuck, well, it's red. And so I'm waiting there, and the light turns green. I don't know if this has ever happened to you guys. The light turns green. They're texting, and they're waiting to go. They're just, texting, don't realize the light turns green. And I wait a good 3.5 seconds. That's as patient as I get when it comes to green lights, okay, guys? And I'm not a crazy driver, but apparently from this, you guys aren't going to believe me. But I have my moments. So the light turns green. I wait about 3.5 seconds. I'm like, if this bitch ain't going, I'm gonna make her go, because I'm right behind her. And so I honk at her. I'm like, hey, well, if you're not gonna go, I don't want this red light, this green light to expire, and so I better go. And so, I honk at her, and then I start tailing her, because we have to take the intersection, obviously. And there are 2 girls from that school walking, because it's like, I don't know, it's like a religious school. I'm just like, nah, no thank you. And so they're walking, and they kind of give me weird looks, because I honked at this girl lady, like, why is he so mad? They didn't understand that she was waiting for the light, because now they see the light, you know what I'm saying? And so I continue following her, and then they're one of the people, man, driving complaints are going to be like a new series on my channel or something, depending on how this one is received. But driving complaints, one of my driving complaints is when people are extremely slow at turning, like, let me just slow down to 3 miles an hour. And, like, they're trying to take this turn, like they're going to, flip if they go any faster. And so I'm like, what the fuck? I'm trying to go here. And then, in this street, there's a 3rd lane as well for a similar thing, merging and turning into places, and if you need to stop, and so other cars can go, and it doesn't kind of restrict traffic. So they're waiting to pull into the school, probably to pick up their child, whatever. And so she's doing this turn extremely slow, and sometimes when people do this, I get a little bit mad, and so I continue at my regular driving rate, and I kind of go into this middle lane, because I'm like, we're in a school zone, and you're going even slower than that. I had to slow down in a school zone. What the hell, man? And so I'm not, like, tailing this girl extremely bad, but I'm like, so, she's pulling in my grandma style, and I kind of speed up because it's the end of the school zone, and I'm going, and I kind of cut into the 3rd lane a little bit, and there's a car, and just like kind of there, but it was a little bit far away, so I wouldn't have hit it or anything, but you could tell they had to slow down. And so they're coming at me, and I just kind of like, they're giving me weird looks, and I'm just like, no, I need to get home. There's a Corsair K70 waiting for me, because there ain't no girls here. So anyway, guys, the story went on longer than I expected, but, that's me telling long stories. GhostSickness, the one and only. But yeah, as you guys can tell, I'm in a very good mood. I probably need some sleeps and some caffeine tomorrow. Not anymore today. I've had quite a bit today, and so I'm not on drugs, guys. I just do enjoy telling stories. It's been a while since I've been able to tell one, and more great stories coming. So I've been doing a lot of hand motions in this video that obviously you guys can't see, but I really hope you did enjoy the story. If you did, don't forget to smash that fucking like button for more, baby. MW2 gameplay! This story is coming to an end. Have a great day, and remember the fact that I love you. Long time. I love you long time.